All right, so technically we're almost here. Greetings, it's TarotLumination. It's Sunday night, 19th of January 2025. We're on the cusp of a revolution. It's a massive piece of astrological history, so I felt obliged to be here. Tomorrow we'll also be here, but on RUMBLE, not here. So, I haven't been around much because I've been sick on and off, up, down, sick, doctors, hospitals, and things like that. And I'm getting better, definitely getting better. I had some very good news health-wise. I'm cancer-free for the most part, and I'm still on long-term treatment, but there's nothing new, let's put it that way. So that's very good news, if you want to look at it that way. So, Love Triber, hello. Tina Miller, hello. What a beautiful name. Pax is the Latin word for peace. Yes, what a beautiful little animal. You're very, very lucky. So I guess we're going to learn more about little Pax over the years. Thank you. I think he's going to have a healing influence. He's a Scorpio, so he would have the energy of transformational energy healing. Unconventional. Yeah. Shall I tell you a little story? I can't use all the main words. Pax is a female. Oh, okay. All right. But it's still the word for peace. Pax means peace. Female. So, here's a bit of a controversial little story. I'm going to try and keep the language safe so that YouTube doesn't do anything silly. There's a product out there in the healthcare world called Fen for short. It has another name. The other part of it is bendazole. It also has a sister called Mem. Last name bendazole. And Love Triber just sent me some notes from a doctor who was telling a story about the discovery of these little products. It turns out, apparently, years and years ago, a bunch of scientists were trying to do cancer studies, and so they were using lots of little lab rats. And just before they started the studies, they realized, oh, these little lab rats have a bunch of parasites inside their bodies and brains and so on. So, So we better get rid of these little parasites before we start our actual real tests on the cancer for the cancer treatment. Okay. So the story goes that the doctors didn't know what to do, but one of them knew a vet, and they were talking, and the vet said, hey, why don't you just use this stuff? We use it here all the time with the cows and pigs and, dogs and cats and pets that get infected with these parasites. And so the doctors went, sure, okay, we'll give it a shot. And so they took the stuff. First name was Fen, and the last name was bendazole. And they gave it to the little mice. And lo and behold, whoosh, all the parasites disappeared. And so the scientists and the doctors went back and they thought, okay, this is great. Now we can start all our lab tests on the little rats for the little mice for the cancer. And so they started poking around, and everything that they thought was going to show up as cancer didn't exist. So they were kind of puzzled, and they realized, wait a minute, this is weird. Where's all the cancer? Where? And then they kind of looked at each other like, oh my God, that cheap $10 medicine from the vet seems to have got rid of the cancer. Whoa. Anyway, the story goes on, but in the end, the lecturer was describing how Big Pharma figured this out a while ago, and they decided, well, we can't let this simple solution out to the public, so we're going to change one molecule inside the bendazole family, and we're going to rename it the sister of Fen. We're going to call her Mem, and so it became Mem, last name bendazole. And they sell it for at least $100 a pill. So there you go. The wonders of modern medicine. Another story about money today. I have a new friend. He's the pool guy. And we were discussing all sorts of things. He's Irish. And he was telling me stories about Ireland. He went there over the holidays. He got really sick when he came back. Blamed it all on chemtrails. And I kind of went, oh yeah, I know what you mean. I've been sick too. I had horrible things with my stomach and my brain, headaches and headaches. I was blaming it on the chemtrails, blaming it on the planets, blaming it on, psychic, let's see, what's the word? Interference. And then all these, some of the horrific news going around the world about horrible, horrible things with politics and politicians and leaders and elections and things like that. Anyway, he was telling me his friends in Ireland were complaining like the cost of eggs was just diabolical. It was £3 for, 2 dozen eggs. And when you do the math, it turns out that Irish eggs are very, very cheap compared to American eggs. So I thought that was very puzzling. And then the Irishmen were complaining about the cost of gasoline. It cost them like $20 to $30 to fill up a tank, translating the Irish pounds into American dollars. And each time my buddy was telling him, listen, man, you have no idea. People think America is the land of dreams and opportunity and everybody's rich and everybody gets a house. It's not quite like that. Eggs cost the equivalent of, well, they're about $10 a dozen. When I have to go fill up my gas tank, it's about $60 to $75. And of course, the Irish people were just going absolutely berserk. They found it very hard to understand. So, yeah, it's kind of strange. Hello, let me see. Oh gosh, hold on. In Roman mythology, Pax was the goddess of peace. Okay, akin to the Greek goddess Irene. She symbolized not just the absence of war, but an enduring state of tranquility and order. I like it. I would vote for that. Tina Miller says, naming a dog Pax can be seen as an invocation of these serene qualities. Excellent. Yeah. A wish for a peaceful and balanced life together. Well, it sounds like you already got it. Congratulations. I am sure Pax will fit in very well with Charlie and Sasha. By the way, if there's anybody hanging out here watching and you're thinking you want to get a donation done for tarot readings, do not do the super chat. YouTube will take it. I don't get paid anymore. And this video is demonetized. So there you go. Pax is on the benzols for hookworms. Okay. The legendary Finn. That's fantastic news. All right, I don't know where to start here. Let me go over to the chart for a minute, okay? Elaine Tat. Hello, Elaine. Are you here for a tarot reading? There's a donation process. I'll show you in case you're interested. you can go to this magical website. It's called TarotLumination. You find the donate page, you click the donate button, payment processor comes up, you scroll down where you can use a debit credit card, just like online shopping, and then kaboom, you get your reading. It's amazing, isn't it? Welcome, Elaine. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go jump over here to the chart for a minute. Some of you know I've been doing almost all my work now on the other platform, RUMBLE. I find it much simpler because the platform is simpler, but however, it is really not as effective. When YouTube works, it's amazing. It's just an amazing, amazing platform. And I had a really good start years ago, 2017. And then 2 years later, everything fell apart, as you all know by now. I've been living off fumes ever since. And I gave up and I decided I'm just going to go away. But we're still doing the little Sunday Night Live things here for fun, mostly because we've been doing it for almost 8 years, so I just thought I might as well. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt that much. We've had a lot of history, people coming and going over the years. We've lost people over the years because of my politics, my concepts, my beliefs, some of my statements, and so on and so on. And then we've had other people arrive, and so it's just like, life in general. People come and go. It's just like if you think of TarotLumination as a little tiny hot dog stand at the end of a very, very large food festival, way at the far, far end, we still get a little tiny bit of traffic here, but most of the traffic goes to all the big multi-million-dollar channels. Okay. Yeah. The other platform is much simpler. Now, however, the other platform does not have anywhere near the reach or the global influence of this platform. And some people complain that they're very slow on their notifications and follow-ups and things like that. There's nothing much I can do about it. And the main reason I go to the other platform is because it's simple, it works, and they do not destroy me with the algorithms or censor me because of my language or my beliefs. So that's very, very valuable. I basically can't really talk about anything here anymore except through self-censorship and using language, self-censorship language. So it's extremely frustrating to talk and work that way. I get a little angry because there are several channels that I truly love that have obvious permission to talk about anything. All the conspiracy theories, everything that I'm not allowed to talk about, they're allowed to talk about. And they have millions of viewers. So I've never understood why they destroyed my channel, and yet they support big mega channels, okay? But anyway, so there we go. Now, let me show you something over here. This is my little folder where I keep all the previous day's work. I didn't do anything yesterday, so we didn't have anything for the 18th. And I have another folder, so you can see this one is piled up. I just started this one very recently, where I've started keeping the little charts for reference. This goes back to December 24th. That's Christmas Eve. And so on, so on, and so on, and so on. The different charts and the different patterns that came up over time. And all the conversations and the implications of the charts. What does it all mean? What does it all mean? I don't know if you notice while I'm flipping pages, there is an aspect. Well, I'll just show you. Victor! There's an aspect that's been with us for months. It's still here. Do you recognize this one? This is Pluto opposite Mars. It's still very, very tight. It's a very warlike aspect, but I'm not going to get too deep into all that stuff because I just don't want to get shut down. But anyway, the Pluto opposite Mars aspect is very much an indicator of war. What does that war look like? It can be verbal war, political warfare, hot warfare with bullets and guns, let's say terrorist warfare with their knives and bullets and bombs and all sorts of horrible things that people do to each other. It can be, what do they call it in China? They call it unrestricted warfare or asymmetric warfare. You know, so we had all the issue over the last few months. If some of you might recall that on November the 5th, which was a very, very important day, November the 5th, we had Pluto directly opposite Mars over here, when Mars was over here. And Mars has been retrograde pretty much ever since. And before that, we had the October eclipses, which had very bad indicators for a lady with the last name Harris. And lo and behold, she had an absolute disaster. And that was all highly predictable. And then we have an extended period of time, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've seen it very vividly from here, that there has been a lot of warlike behavior across the world. Here's my little world map. Hello, Victor. War, I just call it war, but different types of warfare. Like southern Mexico is a bloodbath. Okay, you've got the Darien Gap, where all the illegals come through. You've got the communist South American countries warring with each other, Venezuela. You've got Cuba falling apart over here. You've got horrible wars over here. Hello, Elizabeth. Yay. Horrible wars over here. Lots of very ugly, brutal, violent wars over here with very little reporting in the Western mainstream media because a lot of people don't seem to care about this area here. It's just poverty and centuries of blood warfare, bloodlust. You've got warfare all over the Middle East now. We got warfare in Eastern Europe, okay? And we have warfare all across the Himalayas and the transit Tibet areas over here. And we have a simmering virtual war all over here with the little Taiwan place. There's little tiny Taiwan. It's such an important topic right now in the world, and for some reason, this huge place here is obsessed with taking this tiny little place here. It has a lot of psychological significance for the leaders over here. But it's a very self-destructive path of vanity, which is very, very likely to backfire very, very badly. Remember, Mars is retrograde here. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong in time of war. Bubba! Little Bubba! Hello! All right, Bubba's here. He's thirsty. We've had a lot of time together because we've been taking care of each other. We're watching over each other. I'll show you little Bubba in a minute. Yes. Happy birthday, America, tomorrow. Yeah. Sure, Elizabeth, I'll get you a magic post-it note. You know the routine. Alrighty. So, come on, Bubba. Come on over here. Hang out with us. Come on. All right, little Bubba's here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any readings now. Oh, God. All right, I'll try. Anyway, let me continue a little bit with the charts here. So we still have this very contentious warlike aspect. And from some of my videos, if you were at the other platform, you would know that I contrast the wars into very, very simple dynamics of freedom versus tyranny. And that's the same theme across the whole world. Freedom versus tyranny. You can break it up into the different countries, the different leaders, the different populations. over here, over here, over here, over here are the number one tyrannical places. Over here, the couple over here, over here, and over here, and over here. Tyrannical places, and they just want more tyranny. And there are other places like where I live over here, and we want freedom, what we call freedom, which I call the reconstitution of the Constitution and the redeclaration of the Declaration of Independence. Okay? So that's kind of where we're headed, starting from tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very, very, very big day. Some of you already know. So this indicates a war. The war is symbolized as freedom versus tyranny. Pick a side, it kind of doesn't matter here. Well, it does actually, I'll show you. But the way it would be the most obvious version of that war would be CCP China versus USA America. CCP China, the biggest tyranny on earth, versus United States of America, a relatively tiny country. This has 1.4 billion. We have 340 million. So there's about 4 of them to 1 of us. Something like that. Anyway, what's very interesting about this dynamic is that Pluto and the Sun are absolutely conjunct tonight, right now, and tomorrow they will be conjunct again. And by the time the inauguration is finished, the Sun will be conjoined Pluto in Aquarius. It actually changes. Let's see. Technically it changes tonight, but we're going to know it more accurately on the charts tomorrow. So that's an extremely powerful alignment. When you get Sun conjoined Pluto, by definition, it's an extremely powerful alignment, no matter where it would lie. It just so happens to lie right here at the 0 to 1 degree mark of Pluto in Aquarius. That is, by definition, the beginning of the revolution, the beginning of the fight for freedom, the demand for freedom, the reclamation of freedom, the declaration and the redeclaration and the reconstitution of the Constitution. It's not going to happen by flipping a switch. What's going to happen is the big guy, Donald, Mr. Orange Man, will be setting a course. He's basically going to grab the steering wheel of America and pull it from the hard left and switch it over to the center. We might call it the right, but in fact the idea is we're just going to take it back to good old-fashioned common sense. And he's going to work to keep that steering wheel headed in that direction and systematically dismantle anything and everything that keeps the wheel going over here. And we're going to keep it over here and stabilize it. And then in 4 years from now, we're going to elect a new person to keep things going in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a dynasty or a type of multi-generational series of presidents and leaders who will keep America on the path that we have chosen. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he's here. He's definitely here to help. Okay, thank you very much, Necessary. Okay, so we got 2 readings tonight. That's probably going to be my maximum. I kind of apologize to some people in advance that I'm probably not going to be able to handle too many readings tonight. So you've probably seen this over the last 4 months or so. It's going to continue for months ahead. This little green triangle here, I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it's an indication. It's a very powerful triangle with Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. Everything I want to talk about with that is to do with the unhealthy aspects of Neptune. So I'm just going to not talk about it. We have another important aspect over here where Saturn is exactly conjoined with Venus in Pisces around 15, 16, whatever it is, 17 degrees, something like that. Let me check. Well, isn't that amazing? It's 16 degrees. So Saturn is at maximum power here right now, Saturn in Pisces. So this, wherever, we have several key trigger points right now that are very powerful, and they're impacting everybody on Earth, whether you like it or know it or not, some way or another. Now remember, if you're a brand new little newborn baby today and you happen to be born with Aries rising, this would be your astrodoodle for the day. You would have this astrological DNA for the rest of your life. However, if you were born with a different rising sign, because it changes roughly every 4 hours, it would look like this or this or this or this. So you get the same planets in the same signs, but in different houses. And so that affects your life differently, the way your life plays out. So anyway, let's extend that thought. We have a very powerful alignment here and here. Especially here, extremely powerful, Sun conjoined Pluto. We have this conjunction here, and we have this cusp here at the 27.5 degrees mark. A very powerful degree there. So each of these 3 degrees corresponds to a point in your chart somewhere. I'm not sure where, because I'm not doing personal astrology here tonight. But it is there somewhere, and wherever this lies, that's where it will affect you personally. With the Pluto energy and the Neptune energy, it may be very hard to detect or understand what it really is or means, because you might not, because it would be happening at such a depth of your soul. It wouldn't be like if it was something to do with Mercury, it'd be more likely for you to notice it. What's up, Bubba? What do you want? What's up? No, that's my water. So, it's hard to describe. If you have, also, here's the thing with Saturn. You might notice this one because Saturn is much closer. Okay, over here, Saturn conjoined Venus. Wherever that lies in your chart, that's where you will feel the pressure. A lot of times, wherever you find the Pisces energy or the Neptune energy, you might feel pain, suffering, disappointment, losses, failure, depression, anxiety, fear, sickness, illness. With Saturn in Pisces, it's basically like an energy calling out the sickness and holding accountable all the world, especially the deep state world elite, for their very, very perverse behavior. And lo and behold, a lot of it is to do with very sick relationships, about how the deep state elite relate to other people who are not members of the deep state elite. And what they do is they use deception, lies, and betrayal, treachery, blackmail, poisoning, everything you can think of to destroy anything good. However, Saturn is holding them accountable now. So guess what? We're seeing in the mainstream media, even in the mainstream media, that certain entities, groups of people who would like to have a brand new world type of order, people who are very much aligned with using things like propaganda to push forward an extremely evil agenda, they are being called out. They're being noticed, they're being held accountable, and there's no escape, okay? The Saturn pressure is very, very intense. For example, in the United States, all of the mainstream folks like the ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, and so on, those particular groups of the propaganda machine have suffered in their stock prices. They've had to lower the salaries of all their mainstream anchors who do the broadcasting, and they're trimming back on what they do because they've lost so much viewership. The reason they've lost so much viewership is because American people are waking up and realizing that they've been lied to for the last 60 years, because the propaganda machine went into full force starting about 60 years ago. Bubba? Oh, I guess I'm in the clear. Bubba has gone off to get some nibbles or snacks or go exploring or something. Anyway, I don't want to linger on this too much. Let's go. Let's put this away and let's explore some tarot readings. Get you guys on track. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Hi, little Bubba. Oh, this is her. I'm sorry about your loss. Freaking sucks. How are you doing in your furry farm? Okay. All right, come on, Bubba. Come on. What do you need? You got food. You got double dose there. Oh. All right, let's put this up here. All right, I just wanna check in, folks, while I get things ready here. Come on up. Come on. No, he doesn't. No, he. I know what he wants. He wants me to do some surveillance on his behalf. He's, I'm going to have to put everybody on a little break here. Give me a second, Bubba. I'm right here. Do not worry. Do not worry, okay? I'm coming right now. I'm coming. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah. So I had to get Bubba a little snack, and I had to switch on some lights and check out the rest of the house, make sure everything's good. Here he comes. Come on. Come on, come on, come and hang out with us. See, everything's fine. All right, so we're going to shuffle up. We've got, where's my magic post-it notes? Where did I put my post-its? Okay, I know we got them here somewhere. All right, here we go. Alrighty, okie dokie. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put up the two post-it notes, and we're going to start the readings, okay? We got Elizabeth, and then we've got Tina. I think that's what it is. Did I get that right? Elizabeth and Tina. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, he's here. I'm very happy to have him. Very happy. I love little Bubba. I love having him around. All right, let's move this over here. Sorry, I'm trying to do broadcasting at the same time. And we got the cards. Okay, I got the card. Can you be last? Yes, yes you can. Okay, well, Tina, you're it. Brace yourself, Tina. You know the routine. All right, let's have a look. We're going to do this. Hi, come on, Bubba. Get yourself comfortable. Okie dokie, that's good. Just hang out there. All right. All right, here we go. Bubba's settling in. We have a reading first for Tina. All right, here we go. And then we have, after that, we have reading for Elizabeth. All right. General. Okay, no problem. There was another person, I think there was a lady called Elaine who was just here. Sorry, Victor, tonight I haven't talked about anything to do with Big China and money and all those crazy, crazy things. It drives some people nuts. So, anyway, I kind of left it at a break for now. I will have much more, of course, on Rumble. By the way, Victor, if you're still here, you're very welcome to visit over on Rumble, because that's where I do a lot of the astrology, where I don't do personal readings. Maybe I will one day. Eventually, we'll see. But anyway, if you want to visit over there, Victor, you're more than welcome. Just got to do bits of homework. Alrighty. So here we go. All right, I'm just clicking around, getting ready to do the readings, okay? All right, Tina, we'll put this in the right place in just a little bit. Let's shuffle up. I need a few minutes here to shuffle up and get in gear. All right, so settle up, everybody, and enjoy. Messages from Ava. Okay. All right, let's have a look here. It'll be a general reading. We'll just see what comes up, okay? What kind of messages do we have here for Tina tonight regarding PAX, perhaps messages from Ava, general reading and purpose. We're just gonna dive in, okay, Tina? Elizabeth wants to go last, so you're next, precious. Okay, cards are well shuffled. Bubba has decided that he's dealing with everything. He's giving me psychic healing vibes from his little nest. Okay. All right, let's have a look here. Hold on, I think I'm just going to make him more comfortable. All righty. All right, here we go. Okie dokes. So now we're in the groove. All right. Yeah, it's awful. Here we go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. See what's going on here. All right. What kind of messages do we have for Tina tonight? Gather around, of course, your invisible friends. Make the most of this. We don't have to do this in a three-dimensional format. We can spread out, share. Like, just imagine, I like to imagine we are at a campground, TarotLumination retreat, and we have a beautiful campfire. It's a beautiful evening, and everybody's sitting around in a circle. We're enjoying each other's company, and our invisible friends are vivid and plentiful. Let's have a look here. Okay, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. I'm really happy for you, Tina. Let's have a look. Page of Cups. Well, the thing about Page of Cups is that there can be a lot to learn, and this could be an indication that a little Pax is acting as a medium or as an instrument of the healing power of love effectively for you. I mean, I don't think any of this is a coincidence. I think you came across little Pax in a way that's kind of divine timing, divine ordinance. That's what I would call it. And you never stop learning about these things. And I have a feeling if you double this up with the energy of Ava, and okay, so Ava has gone, but she's still available in spirit, and you can just, enjoy that for what it is and learn as you go. This is a very innocent type of energy, and there's no implications that there's anything good or bad going on here. It's just an indication that there is plenty of learning to do still in this life. You have not reached a point where, okay, well, this is the world, this is how it all works. I know how energy works. I know how the healing power of love works. I know how the being an instrument of the healing power of love works, and through Charlie and Sasha and now Pax and even Ava and your previous furry friend, I can't remember the name, who passed away recently. So anyway, this is kind of comforting. As far as the way I feel it, this is very comforting, and it gives me a very cozy feeling for you, Tina, that you are basically cushioned, surrounded by love in such a way that you can learn at a very gentle pace through your existing format of life. In other words, your home, Charlie, Sasha, Ava, and Pax, all five of you. Well, if you count the house as an entity as well, then all six of you, okay? Hi, Rosie. We do donations here. I'll just show you briefly. Go over here. Sorry for the interruption, Tina. Hold on. You go over here, donate button, click, then do a swipe with a card. It's kind of like online shopping. All right, let's have a look. Over here. I'm already pretty booked up, I got to tell you, Rosie. I've got 2 more readings after this. Anyway, it's up to you. All right, so here's the situation. Okay, with the King of Wands energy, yes, it's a very masculine energy. I don't know if you have a very strong masculine influence in your life, in your world right now, Tina, but if it's not an actual physical male, what I'm sensing is that this is an indication that it's a very bright green light for you to like assume the the sacred masculine. Okay, now like if you were a guy, for example, and this came up as the Queen of Wands, I'm trying to reverse the roles here and the genders here. I would say, hey guy, hey listen guy, it's time for you to embrace the sacred feminine that exists inside of you, because we all have versions of male and female energy flowing through us at any one time. Our physiological body, of course, is how we conduct our lives. But if you think of the feminine type of energies like compassion, patience, loving, nurturing, those kinds of things, then switch that over. So to embrace the divine masculine for you, Tina, is it makes me feel it's time to look at your life, your world around you, and kind of imagine yourself as the king of the castle. You have your world, you have your kingdom. You could call it a queendom, but it's come up here as a king. You have your kingdom, and it's time to embrace it and basically live like a king. Conduct yourself, your manners, your behavior, your demeanor, your attitude in a very king-like manner. And that would be in a very healthy expression in terms of the King of Wands, which represents things like courage, leadership, inspiration, bravery, power, integrity. Really, really good. All the most powerful, valuable, masculine ingredients you can describe. It's an endless list, but I've described a few of them there. It's time for you to embrace that and kind of take a deep breath. What I'm feeling is like over here, it feels very strong energy. It's like time for you to take a deep breath and really absorb the new life that is unfolding for you now. I think little Pax is very symbolic of a whole new life unfolding for you. Let's call it, how about this? Okay, I'm really stretching it here, Tina, but why not? It's fun. Look at this. Here's the Pluto-Sun alignment. It's in Aquarius. It's at the 0 to 1 degree mark. So it's the start of a brand new epic journey. It's a 20-year journey that lies ahead. It's a journey of surprises, revolution, upheaval, and a constant direction towards freedom. In other words, in order to achieve that kind of energy, it's important for you as a leader in your household, as the leader in your household, to embrace the energy of leadership, but also don't be afraid to exercise the power of leadership in order to systematically remove and diminish anything that remains as an obstacle to your supremacy, to you, because this would make, every time you access this energy, you're going to feel good. It's like, man, you know what? I never thought about it that way, but I am the king of my castle. It feels really, really good. This is cool. I'm going to live the life accordingly. And the reason I think little Pax is symbolic is because, like you said, born on 11/11, so he's a Scorpio, right in there, maximum power Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So it's the energy of profound transformational energy healing. So it might be very deep and very, very subtle, but I think it's powerful and it's there and it's present. And the power is very subtle, okay? This is subtle, sweet, sweet energy. So my feeling is that it's time for you to enjoy your sovereignty in your household with your, let's say, family members. Lead with courage accordingly. All right, let's have a look. What are the challenges here? Oh, hold on, I just heard. Hold on. Ava is here saying, don't forget me. Don't forget me. Don't forget about me. I'm an important part of this equation. Okay, so that came screaming out. Okay, all right, Tina? Let's have a look at the challenges over here. Oh, it's exciting. We got the 5 of Wands. So it makes me feel here that this isn't such a detrimental energy. It's just that to live up to this King of Wands energy, it might be quite demanding on you physically and psychologically, emotionally, financially, energetically, in such a way like by the end of the day you might feel exhausted, but good. That would be okay. And every day, it's almost like you can wake up in the morning and simply automatically expect that all day, well, not all day every day, but every day, you're going to encounter at least one challenge that will force you to energize this energy. In other words, to call out anything and everything that is inappropriate, unhealthy, unacceptable, anything that diminishes the glorious energy here that you have. It has to be called out. It has to be dealt with. So it means constantly, almost on a daily basis, having to exercise strong leadership tendencies. It's almost like you're not allowed to sit back and just cruise on autopilot anymore. It's about embracing a new life, embracing the challenges, understanding that the challenge here is really about removing obstacles to your health and happiness and love, okay? Because it's there by default, okay? The good stuff is there by default, but it can easily get tangled by external influences that may appear to be working against you, whether that's people, circumstances, events in life, events in the world, tiny little local annoying events, things, getting stuck in traffic, having an annoying thing happen at a grocery store. But don't take it personally. Take charge of the situation and deal with it in a very noble, regal manner. Okay. How do we deal with this going forward? Okay, understand that this is ultimately all about your personal health and healing and well-being. Again, I think this is very closely associated with Pax. It's almost like little Bubba over here. He's very much a little healing force in my life, and I'm a healing force in his life. It's very complementary. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's what I feel that you're going to have here, Tina, going forward. Is the way to go forward is sort of like teamwork with you and the subjects, you and your team, Sasha, Charlie, Pax, and of course, the noble Ava. And it's a healing journey. It's about your healing. It's about your personal healing. But of course, this is a very unusual pathway to attain healing. And a lot of healing is to do with removing what is unhealthy. And that could be a psychic phenomenon, a physiological phenomenon. You know, you've had those health issues recently, and it requires a lot of positive, you know, not self-determination, self-affirmation. Like, even in the face of really challenging circumstances, understand that the challenges are there for you, and they're happening for you, not to you. That's the expression I heard. Okay? And the ultimate way to go forward is to understand that it's all about healing. Healing in such a way that pretty much every life experience going forward from here is, it might seem unusual, it might seem contorted, it might seem unconventional, without logic or reason, but it is happening ultimately for your good and for your healing. So that's why I was talking about Pax with the energy, the Scorpio Pluto energy of transformational energy healing, because at its most powerful expression of energy with Pluto, that is transformational energy healing. It's turning garbage into gold. It's turning adverse situations into something benevolent. All in seemingly mysterious, unconnected ways. So it's almost like you're going to be living in a movie where you're not going to know exactly what's happening at any one moment in time, but the key thing is to trust that it's all happening ultimately for the purpose of your healing. In other words, Pax showed up in your life for Pax's benefit, and you showed up in Pax's life. Pax showed up in your life for your benefit, and you showed up in Pax's life for Pax's benefit. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship about healing and growing and learning about the healing power of love even more than you have and know already. Wow, that was a pretty broad scope reading. I hope you got some sense out of that. Okay, Tina, that's your mini reading for now. Let's go over again, and I'm going to do a shuffle up, and then we're going to do precious. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. Okay, Precious, you're up. Thank you so much for visiting. I'm going to dive right in, okay? I'm just going to do a general reading like we do. I think most of us here know about your situation. I know you've got a lot of very serious health issues at the moment. It can be very frightening. I know. Yeah, okay, let's not dwell on the negative here. Let's just dive in, do your reading. What kind of messages do we have here for Precious Moments tonight? I'm guessing you're still up in Edmonton, where it's probably Arctic, absolute horrific Arctic cold right now. Let us know if you feel like doing that in the chat. Okay, Victor, take care. Victor's already departed. All right, Tina, thank you very much. Ava is a really exceptional animal. Remember when we did that reading on her, the astrology and everything? Truly an exceptional animal. And the story that came out was really, really, I don't know, inspiring. I know there was some tragedy there, but it's still a beautiful story. -40. Okay, that's absolutely terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying cold. Blistering cold. Just so that people have an idea of the reference, okay? We all know, if you pay attention, there's a massive Arctic blast coming from up here. The jet stream took a real nosedive, whoa, over here. So there's a massive Arctic blast coming down over here like this. Super, super ultra cold. So much for the climate crisis, right? So anyway, that's hitting over here. There's Calgary, there's Saskatoon, and Edmonton, I believe. Yeah, Edmonton. It doesn't fit on this map, but Edmonton is up here. It gets extremely cold, okay? So there's Vancouver, Calgary, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg. I like saying the names. Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec. There you go. Arctic. Absolute Arctic. All right, there we go. Thanks for that little interlude. It's 10 degrees there. Yeah, 10 degrees, I'm sorry, it's cold. Oh my God, I spent 20 years on the beach where it never got above 83 and never got colder than 55. So I'm very, very spoiled. I'm over here in Las Vegas now, and it gets up to about 120 in summer and down to like 40, 30 in winter. It doesn't really go into the minuses. Maybe overnight it will drop to negative in winter, but yeah, it's much warmer here. Oh dear. Oh God. I'm so sorry, Precious. I've had to have some major dental things. It's a little bit scary when people go right inside your mouth. Blah. Blah. All right, here we go. All right, Precious, let's do this. So what kind of messages do we have here for Precious tonight? First of all, let's pray that you stay as warm and cozy as you possibly can. I'm hoping you're wearing 2 pairs of really thick socks, a pair of pajamas and long johns underneath a pair of winter insulated trousers. I hope you've got nice, fluffy, insulated gloves and a big set of Arctic sweaters and parkas and earmuffs and hoodies, okay? I've lived in very cold climates, not quite that cold, but very cold, where you would have to dress up in layers, lots of layers. All right, so let's have a look. What kind of messages do we have here for Precious tonight? Okay, so let's just see what comes up. I know you've got a whole lot of serious health things going on. I know you've had some very serious things with one of your kids and so on. So let's see. Let's just see what happens here. But this is for you. Okay, here we go. All right, see. Let's have a look. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. Let's have a look at the external energies. We have here Death card. Okay, so this is very much about the Scorpio energy. Okay, the Death card is essentially about transformation. It's unstoppable transformation, very much to do with Pluto. So again, we seem to have Pluto as a powerful theme tonight. I'm going to go over here for you, Precious, because I think you arrived pretty late. Right now, tonight, the Sun is conjoined Pluto. It's one of the most powerful aspects you can have. And somewhere, this lies in your chart. Okay, Precious, wherever that lives. I can't remember your chart. I have a feeling we've done some astrology, personal work before, but I don't hold those things in my head. Anyway, so my feeling here is that the Death card is referring to Pluto itself, and wherever you would find this in your chart, there is going to be like a landmark moment in time where this is going to be the start of a transformational healing journey for you. It might feel very weird, scary, spooky, supernatural, incomprehensible, like having to perhaps go through some really horrible, scary stuff to come out the other side. Now, another thing about Scorpio energy is that it rules surgeons, okay? Surgeons. And I believe Sag. Okay. So it's an indication. My feeling here is the indication is that there's some very serious healing coming your way. And I think we already talked previously in private about the surgeries and so on like that. Or unless they've already happened. I can't remember if you're still waiting in line, but obviously you want to take care of these things. And so I see this as very heartwarming, very, very beneficial. Some people are scared of this. Remember, the Sun is aligned with Pluto, so it's very, very powerful. The Sun is like a sanitizer. It's very healing. It's very powerful. Think of the delicious, warm, healing sun's rays shining upon you, amplifying the Pluto power of healing, transformational energy healing, because as you go through the process of transformation, which can be frightening, you end up over here at this glorious new horizon. Do you see? Can you see that on the little window there? All right, I hope you can see that. That's a very, very beautiful destination, okay? That's where you're headed. But it means having to go through the profound transformations that are associated with Pluto-type healing. It's the most powerful type of healing there is, but it can also be the most profound and, let's say, life-changing, perhaps disruptive. And then when you get onto that level, you start to feel like, oh my God, this was all part of my divine incarnation in this lifetime. You know, I've been watching little videos recently about people who've reincarnated or had near-death experiences, gone to the other side, and then come back again with messages for human people here in three-dimensional life, so that we, the people, understand the bigger meaning and purpose of the invisible parts of our life. For example, before we are born and then after we die, because it's on the understanding that we are spirits in a material world, and that our souls do not die. And so one of the common themes you'll notice with these messages from beyond is that we choose this life. We choose some of the big chapters and the major themes and the major challenges that we will encounter. And for some people that includes health issues. I know that's for myself in my own life. I've had a horrific history with health issues, but you'd never know if you met me. It's the kind of stuff that's very deep, very invisible, very hard to heal. But I'm okay. I never had any of the really horrible ones that are like crippling and debilitating, like multiple sclerosis and things like that. But still, it's been very challenging. So health issues can be very frightening, but we've had a lot of advances in the world of healing. Three-dimensional stuff, traditional medicine, but also in America, but also with alternative healing. Of course, you've probably seen this, Precious, because you've been with this channel for many years, and I sometimes bring out this book, Hands of Light, A Guide to Healing Through the Human Energy Field. I feel that this is very much associated with Pluto energy, and maybe one day you'll get lucky. Maybe you can get some supplementary alternative healing in your neighborhood. I don't know if you have these kind of services in Edmonton, but it's to do with energy healing. And this is kind of a really good illustration of what that would look like. Let's say, now this would supplement your traditional healing that you're already dealing with. But if you could picture a situation like that, where you are there, okay, and you are receiving transformational energy healing from some type of energy healer. Like Victor Galligan, he was here earlier, he's an energy healer. He does remote healing and Reiki healing, and these are his invisible friends who would be supporting the whole process. This healer is actually an instrument of the healing power of love, using their physical body as a conduit for the healing power of love to move through the body and through the hands and to be transferred to the patient, the recipient over here, which would be you, Precious, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there. Allow that to percolate in your life. What's the situation? Okay, well, again, with this Sun conjoined Pluto thing, I feel it's going to be opening new doors for a lot of people. I think it's going to be big and slow. I don't think you're going to see spontaneous, radical, instantaneous shifts and changes, because with Pluto, things move very, very slowly at a very profound level. You don't really notice them sometimes until after these really huge, profound changes have happened. But no matter what, change is coming for you. These are two really powerful cards in a row. And in some ways, you could say this is a very fated energy. So if you feel as though your whole life is out of control and that you have effectively had to surrender completely to the fates or to God or to heaven or Jesus or something like that, then that would make sense, because it's like you don't have any options right now. You might as well just surrender to the healing power of love and allow the healing power of love to enter your life and your body and your mind and soul from up above and put you on a new course in life, preferably healing, taking you to a new destiny, whatever that looks like. Spin the wheel. Who knows what that's going to look like, but there's profound change coming up ahead, that's for sure. Again, gentle, slow, but very profound, okay? Will that be in your location? It will certainly be in your health. Will it be in your attitude, your beliefs, your behavior, your family, your neighborhood, your friendships, your relationships, whatever that might be, okay? Let's see, what are the challenges here? Okay, with the Eight of Swords, it makes me feel that you have a long history of, no offense here, Precious, but it's so easy to make things worse than they really are by getting yourself tangled up in a lot of mental stress, where every time you worry about the problem, it just makes it worse. And the worse it gets, the more you worry about it, And the more you worry about it, the worse it gets. So you end up tangling yourself in a tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter knot. And the tighter the knot, the more the stress. And it's kind of a vicious circle, vicious cycle. And my feeling is deep down, you know damn well what we're talking about. I don't know what it means in detail, but I'm sure you would recognize this part inside yourself where you're going to go, duh, damn it, I know. I know what you're talking about, TL. I know. I am my own worst enemy. I don't want to be, but I can't help it. I get nervous. I get anxious. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. If it wasn't for this or that, or maybe somebody said something, or maybe if I didn't have that problem with so-and-so, or this issue with that. Oh, okay. So you can see how it's very easy for you to get totally in a tangle. Get your knickers in a twist. Okay. Hello, Rhoda. Might as well just enjoy the show. I'm not going to be doing any more readings tonight. I'm already booked up. But you can hang around. A lot of times people feel like, oh my God, that reading was meant for me. Wow. Okay, so anyway, welcome, Rhoda. Let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this going forward? This is not the end of the world, precious, but I have a feeling you know exactly what we're talking about. I don't know the details, but you do. Okay. All right, let's have a look. Going forward. Okay, with the Justice card here, these are really powerful cards, precious. My feeling is it's a really powerful message. Again, it's associated with really big wake up. Huge revolutionary wake up inside of you at the very, very deepest part of your soul. This little thing here, Sun conjoined Pluto in Aquarius, 0 to 1 degree, is sitting somewhere in your chart. And it's signaling that this is time to really, really wake up and change for the long term. It's going to be a long-term journey, a long-term process. And you're not going to be aware of the transformation, of the shifts every single day as you go through, like you would if it was a Mercury transit. But over here, it's going to happen, okay? So just like with Tina, the Pluto energy is very strong. So the indication is that going forward, it's almost perfect. It's almost like you're going to get exactly what you deserve. In other words, by continuing to maintain the levels of consciousness where you are right now, in other words, you wouldn't be on this channel. You wouldn't be visiting here. You wouldn't have been hanging out for years unless you were already operating at certain higher frequencies above the traditional three-dimensional frequencies, okay? All right? So in some ways, remember that you're already blessed. You're already a very lucky person, a very wealthy person, a very happy person, a very blessed person in your own unique way, even though you've got these horrific conditions that you're having to deal with. Somehow or other, because I know we've talked personally, we've had readings personally, somehow or other you find a way to pull out some little tiny nugget of optimism that completely defies the logic, and it puts you back on track again. And that's what I think is going to happen going forward. This is like the energy of truth, justice, knowledge, wisdom that you would get from that Sagittarius vibe. Like, it's just like, yeah, TL, I already know what you're talking about. I'm a Sag, man. You know I know. You know I already know. You know I already know. I've been plenty of lifetimes. I've done the big journey. I've been on the biggest adventures. I've had the most scary experiences in life. I've been all over the planet. I've had so many lifetimes. I can't count them all. But here I am today in this particular lifetime. And I know, precious moments, I know for a fact that everything is evolving exactly as it should be. And why is that so? How is it so? Because it can't be any other way. I'm getting the justice I deserve. The good and the bad, whatever it is. Of course, I want the good stuff, so I will continue to take your notes seriously. Okay? You'll take my notes seriously, that you're going to accept and understand that you're going to be going through a lot of deep, profound changes, and your your attitudes, your beliefs, your sense of awareness is going to change. That effectively is evolution. Pluto is also very deeply associated with evolution at the deepest part of your soul. Evolution means having to go through really profound, irreversible changes that effectively make you a better, stronger survivor down the road. Even though we're, ticking along through life, and the older we get, we start looking towards the exit. None of us are there yet. But in this reading, in this journey, it's an indication that the transformational energy healing that comes with Pluto is going to change you within in such a way that you're going to realize, like, wow, I have evolved. I am evolving. In other words, the precious moments that I knew 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago doesn't exist anymore. There is a new precious moments unfolding in a plutonic way, slow, and the change will be like a continuous process of change, like a pulsing thing. It won't be suddenly like click, click, like a switch. It'll be a continuous pulsing type of change where it's almost like years from now, you're going to look back and think, what the heck? I can't believe that was my life. Yes, you're still going to have a physical body. Yes, you're going to have circumstances and everything, but the perspective will be completely different because you're evolving at the very deepest part of your soul. That's the Pluto part, at the very, very, very deepest part. So it moves slowly and very, very profoundly and irreversibly. So in a way, I would say it's perfect. So going forward, how do you deal with that? You accept it for what it is, and you accept that nature is unfolding for you in a way that is perfectly balanced. So you're going to have some good days, and you're going to have some rough days. And you're going to embrace them, because that's what you do as a survivor. That's how you live through the process of transformation. You treat it all as a journey, and that everything will be brought to justice and to a state of calm and perfection, no matter what that looks like. Okay, gosh, this was like a big deal, kind of heavy-duty type of reading. I hope it made sense for you, precious. I really do, okay? All right, Elizabeth, you are up. Let's put these over here. And we're going to read for Elizabeth now. Hello, Rhoda. Is this making any sense to you at all? I know you arrived right in the middle of a reading, but anyway. Elizabeth, you are up. Okay, we're going to shuffle up here. Boing, 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 boing. Hi, Gregory. If it's okay, I'm up to my limit tonight for readings, but of course, you all know what to do. We can follow up later in the week or something like that. I know I need to. Well, let's have a look here. Elizabeth, I hope you're sitting comfortably and ready for your mini reading live in front of everybody else here. Let's say hello to Kendra. And there was someone else here just a minute ago. Who was that? We got Newbie here. We got Kendra and Rhoda. Well, I really thank you for visiting. I've been doing this for 7.5, almost 8 years now. And sadly, the little YouTube version of what I do has been diminished to a little Sunday Night Live. But hey, we're still here. And Kendra and Rhoda, if you're interested, I do, as much as I can, I do a nightly or a daily report for the astrology. In case you missed it earlier, this is an example of one of my astrodoodles. This is for today. We already discussed this earlier, so it'll be at the beginning of the video and throughout the video. But tonight we're dealing primarily with the Pluto-Sun conjunction, okay? Alrighty, so Kendra and Rhoda, just for reference, what often happens, well, this is what happens on the channel. Everybody that comes here has been coming here for years, and we all kind of know each other and our circumstances and so on. But for new folks, this is, have a look at this. This is TarotLumination.com. Okay, you can go here. You can go to the donate button, make a donation, and you'll get your mini reading. You can also connect with me directly. You can find a way to write to me there, and you can request your personal private readings and so on. We can mix up the tarot and the astrology. You can send me your birth data and so on, and you can book the readings here, schedule them here, pay for them here, and so on. Pretty straightforward stuff. Okay, I just wanted to show you it all. It's pretty self-explanatory. TarotLumination.com. Alrighty. Now I can imagine little packs running around under Charlie and Sasha, because Charlie and Sasha are full-grown, big German shepherds. Yeah. All right, let's say hello to everybody before we dive in. Good evening, Elizabeth. Thank you for visiting. I was thinking about you a lot recently. I was thinking like, oh my God, like I'd love to be back in LA and hanging around. On the other hand, you've had a lot of problems in LA recently with all those fires and the smoke and everything. I know you're, for reference, folks, Elizabeth is over there in Marina del Rey, just down the street, a couple miles from all the big Palisades fires. So I don't know, Elizabeth, did you ever see anything out the window or from the beach or anything like that? Now, please let us know if you feel like it. You don't have to, but I was just curious. My friend Sherry lives up the street over there in Ocean Park, just close to Santa Monica, and she saw it all. It was absolutely terrifying. And I used to live in the middle between Sherry and Elizabeth. I had my place at Venice Beach. And I have seen several big fires from Venice Beach. It's terrifying. But the Palisades fire dwarfs anything that's ever happened in California so far with the cities. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for being here, Elizabeth. Okay, let's get on with your reading. Ugh. Oh, yeah. It's very dangerous for breathing. I hope you were okay with that. Okay, we're nicely shuffled here. Okay, let's just dive in. What kind of messages do we have here tonight for Elizabeth? I'm just going to mention to everybody, okay, Elizabeth, everybody needs to know that Elizabeth is an extremely powerful soul. She is a survivor, extreme, and she has stories to tell, believe me. And it's amazing that anybody could survive what she survives, but she is a trooper and is living proof that people can survive absolutely horrific circumstances and still put a smile on. I have to tell everybody here that, Elizabeth, you can be one of the most jovial, fun jokers that I know. And when you laugh, you light up the room. All right, here we go. Okay, let's just shuffle it up, cut it up, and then we'll do your reading. Yes, I have to tell everybody here, Elizabeth, sort of like Precious Moments, Elizabeth is very good at finding the silver lining, finding the beauty, finding the joy, the humor, the fun in the most horrific circumstances. Somehow or other, she comes out the other side, laughing and smiling. All right, let's have a look here. What do we got? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things going forward. Let's have a look at external influences. Wouldn't you know? Okay, so if you were here for the previous readings, Elizabeth, this is the Death card. It's very much about the Pluto energy, profound transformational energy healing. And it seems to be applying to you as well. So the Pluto energy is very, very, very strong tonight. And that's because the Sun is conjoined Pluto. It's probably one of the, if not the most powerful conjunctions that exists in my type of astrology, simplified Western astrology. So Elizabeth, let me recap here. The idea is that with transformational energy healing, it is like a wave pattern. It's on the understanding that you're not always on a permanent high where you're just like at a party the whole time. Everyone's sipping champagne and telling jokes and having a wonderful, wonderful time, and everyone is beautiful. All the women are beautiful and all the men are handsome and everybody's rich and everybody has their own mansion. It's not that. This is on the understanding that life is cyclical. It goes up, it goes down. It's like the moon, it comes up, it goes down. It's like the tides, they go up, down. We have good news, we have bad news. We have good days, we have bad days. It's a never-ending journey, a never-ending story. And for some people, it's very, very extreme. Extreme highs and extreme lows. And finding that temperate zone is kind of an art form. But Elizabeth has already figured that out, okay? She's already an expert, okay? You're very scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Elizabeth. This is very much about transformational energy healing, and I will show you. You see? You see? This is what it's all about, Elizabeth. It's about the journey to profound awakening, profound, deepest form of soul healing. Okay, Elizabeth, it's understandable. Everybody fears the cycles of life. A lot of people, including myself, we're scared of this. Okay, because it can be terrifying if we live in the absolute, full energy of the surf wave. It can be really terrifying. So a lot of people try to conduct a life or arrange their life so that everything goes from this to this and eventually this, which you would call stability. However, a lot of times that stability is an illusion because the waves up and down still continue anyway. So it's okay to have stability. Like, for example, pretty much everybody wants financial stability. People don't like being, 1 minute having a bunch of money in their pocket, the next minute flat broke. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, I got to find a job or find something or other. Up and down. Financial instability, understandable. And when it comes to the basics, the three-dimensional parts of life, we need clean air. You have to have air. We can only survive about 3 minutes without real air. You have to have clean water. You can only survive about 3 or 4 days without water. You have to have good, clean food. You can only survive about 3 weeks without food, and so on and so on. And then you have to have shelter, and then community, and communication. Okay, you have to have all of those things. And it's great if you can get all of those things and then keep them and stabilize them. For example, with yourself, Elizabeth, having a nice home, having nice things, having everything working, having good routines, knowing where your money comes from, knowing where your money's going. That's all good, solid stability. But that is a three-dimensional stability. That doesn't necessarily insulate you from the deep soul journeys that go up and down through good news and bad news. It could come from a dream. It could come from someone who scares you or frightens you. It could come through a daily experience that you weren't anticipating that was frightening or upsetting or disturbing, whatever it is. It takes you on these huge emotional roller coasters. And I know that you struggle. I know, Elizabeth, but you do an outstanding job dealing with it, okay? Well, you've got us here, okay? At least you got us, okay? And we have our chats every now and again, all right? All right, let's have a look. What about the situation itself? Oh, we got the Lovers here. So, this is, a lot of people think it's about relationships, but it's also very much about the consequences of relationships. In your case, you're like, maybe you're saying, without communications or social, maybe the absence of relationships. So you might be very, very deeply concerned about the phenomenon of relationships right now. For example, why do you feel that you don't have proper communication or social life where you can be out and about with people, friends and family and all of that stuff? Well, you have done huge amounts of self-examination and self-healing, so you have a pretty good idea of your circumstances. Now, I'm going to share something personal where, regarding my own world of personal communications and personal social life, what I've noticed over the years is that I have become extremely withdrawn. To be honest, this YouTube show and this channel and my Rumble channel, that's pretty much my social life. That's my communications life. Outside of that, I'm extremely insular. Extremely insular. I only connect with a very small number of people at any degree of heart and soul connection. So sometimes that makes me sad, pisses me off. But on the other hand, I just tell myself, well, this is how it is. But for you, Elizabeth, with the Lover's card here, you might be starting to consider, like, well, what does this mean for me? Why, for example, why do I feel that there's no communications, no social life? Is it because I'm frightened to go outside and be there with other people? That would be understandable. Is it because maybe I'm ashamed that I like to be withdrawn, because what's the point of throwing yourself into the public or to be sociable and communicate with other people when there is so much treachery, betrayal, lies, deception, pain and suffering in the world of relationships? So it's understandable. So it might be like the situation right now is that you're having to take a kind of a really in-your-face look at the world of your personal relationships right now and why the situation is the way it is. Now, I have a feeling we could already figure it out, but I think the Pluto energy here of deep soul transformation is trying to help you to understand and accept that things are the way they are for a reason. And ultimately that is for your ultimate healing, your ultimate evolution and ultimate good. So for example, since I know you love social interaction, I know you love to hang out and you're very animated, you're very gifted, you're very connected with the world through your stories and the stories that you would like to tell. On the other hand, there's a little bit of repression there because the consequences of telling these stories has kind of left you a little bit paralyzed. And so you end up like, oh, you are gregarious, you are sociable, you are a great communicator. However, I better lock that up because something really horrible could happen. I might expose myself to horrible things again. Oh dear. And so it becomes self-defeating. And then you realize, oh my God, that's innate to my nature. Because you love to be happy. And I know you like to be out and about. But I know from experience of having worked with you before with previous readings that in so many ways you're very, very vulnerable. And that gets really old. That gets really, really old after a while. So it would be perfectly natural for you to want to contain yourself, all right? All right, maybe it was overwhelming for you. All right, let's have a look. What are the challenges here? You crave stability. You yearn for stability. You love having stability. Financial stability, domestic stability. And I know you've had lots of disruptions, okay? You've had a very, let's just call it this way, okay, Elizabeth? You've had a very cinematic journey through life, okay? Movies could be written about you, okay? And then, yet there you are. Just think of yourself as a little girl. Really, I'm just a little girl who wants safety, stability, comfort, love, joy, happiness in my life. That's what I really, really want. And of course, you've had a very different storyline in reality. So the natural craving and desire for stability, security is very understandable. But this is not, you might not like what I'm going to say next, but it's almost like, well, it's important to keep that and to maintain, because you're actually very, very good at creating a degree of stability that you have relative to the incredibly cinematic, let's say, almost terrifying journey that you've had to endure. So, with the little Four of Pentacles here, it's almost telling me that if you try to hold on too tight to that stability, you are actually impeding yourself. Now, on the other hand, I'm not going to tell you, before this card, I'm not going to tell you, hey, don't worry about Elizabeth, just get out there, mingle, get on the bus, hang around, go to the movies, spend a little, sit around at the coffee shops, talk to strangers, go for walks on the beach, dress up, daydream. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you to do all that stuff to force you to communicate or force you to be sociable. That would not be right. It's something that you would have to figure out for yourself. That's what's coming here. That's what these decisions are all about. What does life look like going forward as you evolve? As you evolve, so that this never-ending cycle. Remember, Elizabeth, everybody has to deal with this to some extent. Now, we know in your life it's been very, very extreme. So how do you stabilize that? It would be very natural and normal for you want to crave stability, to take the extreme highs and lows and to create some kind of more gentle wave where you're not freaked out by the horrors of life and you're not, let's say, turned into a dizzy euphoria about some of the good things that happen. Instead, stabilizing. It's very, very hard to do. It's very, very hard, but in some ways you've already made huge strides. You're already an expert. And that's, just take that from me as an observer, okay? So how do we move forward? It's kind of like balancing act in a way. So if you look at the Ten of Swords, you can kind of basically tell yourself, that's it. Yeah. I have to admit to myself, I've seen it all. I've seen the very, very, very deepest, darkest, ugliest, most painful, demonic, horrific aspects of human behavior. Not only that, not only have I seen it and witnessed it, I am the one who has been on the receiving end. And this is what it looks like. To me, this feels like it's a declaration right now, tonight. Hey, everybody, look at me. This is what it looks like to have lived the life that I've lived. Okay? Now, the other thing about the Ten of Swords, it means that this is essentially history right now, okay? But this, of course, has left an extremely profound mark. Deep scars, deep wounds. Some of these wounds are non-healing wounds. Some of these wounds are wounds that you will carry your whole life. And you already know that. You've already dealt with that. You've already lived through so much healing that you understand this implicitly, okay? I know it looks like it's a very scary card. This looks like a very scary card. Okay, but don't be scared, okay? You know, in some ways this is a very beautiful reading because it's like a very deep cleanse. It's like a deep, deep, deep cleanse type of reading, like a purge type of reading, where you can look at yourself in a very, very calm, loving, gentle manner and realize like, oh my God, it's true. It's absolutely true. What TL just said, it's a freaking nightmare. There are, put it this way, Elizabeth, put it this way, some people don't make it, okay? You made it. Not only did you make it, you are a proud survivor. In fact, you are like a living example of what it's like to not only be a survivor, but be someone who brings joy to the world. You might not think that, Elizabeth, but I've known you for a long time. We've been doing this a long time, and you have brought much joy to my life, to my heart, to my life. I've had many, many joyful experiences with you. And that's your healing energy coming outwards because you've had to do so much healing on yourself. So in some ways you are, as a recipient of this much suffering, you've essentially transformed that. I call it turning garbage into a gold. Turning garbage into gold. That's the transformational energy healing phenomenon. That's the Scorpio energy. That's the Pluto energy. It's literally, okay, here's another way to look at it. That's your reading, okay? Let's just call it, I hope that makes sense, okay? But let me try to do some little analogies so that you can understand the Pluto healing energy and the transformational energy. So if you think of, what's a really good example? Cows. Okay, I used to live in England. I used to live on a farm. I was surrounded by farms, lots and lots of cows. And these were beautiful cows. They would deliver lots of beautiful milk. At the time I could eat dairy, so I loved it. And they had a life. They had a good life. They had good farmers, and the cows would go out. They would go out into their pastures, thick, rich, green, luscious grass. They would graze all day. Then they would go back home to the barns, to the cow sheds and everything. And then they would have the early morning milk, and then they'd go out again. The ebb and flow of life, ebb and flow of life. Now, while they're in the cow sheds and doing the milking, there's a lot of poop. And a lot of that poop is extremely nutritious. And the farmers gather it up with huge, like, not bulldozers, but, big, like tractors with big scoops on the front of it. They scoop up all the poop, as much of the poop as they can, and they put it into a big storage place, and they hose it down and water it down until it becomes like a sludge. And then they put that sludge, it's basically garbage, it's basically waste material. They put that sludge into huge like tankers on wheels pulled by tractors, and then they take that to other fields, other farmers that are growing different types of crops. and then they spray that stuff all over the place. And it actually has kind of a sweet, like aromatic, grassy smell, because most of it is just digested grass. And that's the most valuable fertilizer that you can put on the soil. And what happens is you get really luscious, rich crops, all from cow poop, which is a form of garbage. So you're turning garbage into gold. You're turning old poopy cow poop into beautiful, rich plants that can be harvested. They even put it back on the pastures. Sometimes they go way out to other pastures that are laying fallow, and they will fertilize the pastures for next year, and they'll put the cows on the other pastures, and it'll have really thick, rich grass. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to talk about with transformational energy healing, the Pluto energy, the Scorpio energy, turning garbage into gold. Okay, that's what you do. Whether you like it or you might not know that you do it, but that's what you do, because you've had to deal with so much sludge and horrible, toxic things in your life, but you magically turn it around, and you have brought joy into other people's lives, okay? So, let's go back to the Lover's card for a moment, and that will be the reading. My feeling is that it's time for you to look at the world of relationships from a different perspective, in that instead of perceiving it purely from your own perspective, that, yeah, maybe you've become antisocial. Maybe you're not communicating much. Maybe you're trying to shelter yourself and protect yourself and create stability and security from all the horrors that go out there when you head outside the front door into this horror movie of a life, okay? Now, flip it around. Flip around the relationships. I'm just letting you know that from my perspective, of having known you over the years, done lots of readings with you as we grow and develop and heal over time, that you have brought me a lot of joy. Okay? I might not have told you that in a very direct way ever before, but you need to know that. Okay? And I'm very grateful. I'm very proud and honored to know you. All right? All right, let's wrap that up. That's your reading. Thank you very, very much. Hello, João. João Firmino. Well, I'm just about to wrap it up, folks. I've pretty much had it for the night. Thank you for all the newbies who came to visit. I invite you to come and visit again. I also invite you to visit on my Rumble. I wonder if I can show you. How can I show you? Let me see if I can do this. Give me a second. Wait there, folks. Let me see if I can do this so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, just give me a second. All right, I think I've got it. Now, let me just tuck these away here. Well, now you know. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, so let's see here. My channel, account, home. Let's have a look. How do I do this? Okay, here we go. Look, here's an example. Oh, it's really hard to see. I can't really show. It's hard to show you here. No, it's not working. Anyway. So, all right. So thank you very much for all the guests here tonight. I'm really glad I did show up. I almost didn't make it because I was feeling really full of self-pity and misery. But I'm glad I showed up, and I'm glad we did the readings that we did. Thank you, Gregory, for your notes there. That's genius. That's another thing. Death is only transformation. You're absolutely right. Why didn't we say that during the reading? Death is it is a transformation. It's not. It is. It's the end of our three-dimensional life, but we enter a whole new life. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. If you're interested, you can search. You can go on YouTube or Rumble or somewhere like that, or X or something, and you can search NDE, near-death experiences. And there's all sorts of videos from lots of people who've had car crashes and things like that, and then they die. And then 10, 20 minutes later, they come back. Whoa! And they're in a hospital, and everybody looks at them and goes, wow, we thought you were dead. And then the person comes out and says, oh my God, I have to tell you what I saw. And so it might be interesting to go and look at that. Okay, Elizabeth? Anyway, that's a very, very, very good point, Gregory. The death card, Pluto, Scorpio, it's all about transformation. And death is one of the most profound transformational experiences there is. Probably the most profound. It's the end of this world, and we transform. We go through the chrysalis phase and out the other side, which is the soul entering heaven, which is our true home. And then we get there, we like, wow, this is so cool, man. Why was I so freaking stressed? Oh, well, okay. All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. Take care. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here, folks. It's been a real pleasure to read for you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Jowl. Thank you, thank you, Tina. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Elizabeth. And, there were some newbies here. What were their names? Kendra and I think Rhoda. Thank you, Kendra and Rhoda, for visiting as well. And Victor, of course, but Victor's already gone. All right. Take care, everybody. Be loving, be loved. Tomorrow is a very big day. Pluto is conjoined the sun. Exactly. Okay? Bye-bye.